All right, everybody. How are you doing today? In celebration of the new moon that's going to be happening on Labor Day, that is September 6th, I'm doing this pick a card. And this pick a card is focused on what should I do with my life? What am I really meant to do with my life? So for those of you who are looking for guidance as to the direction you should pick, this is the pick a card for you. We have three piles. We have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And they're virtually identical. So what I want you to do for a second is I want you to take some time. Give yourself a moment to focus and think, what pile do I feel naturally drawn to? Don't second guess it. Go with your first instinct, because that's the pile that's right for you. Let's take a second. Okay, so now that we've picked, let's think for a second. Angels, please help guide me. Let these cards help illuminate something that I wasn't aware of, awaken some instincts deep down inside of me that will help guide me to where I am meant to be, doing what I am meant to do. Let's start with pile 1. All right, pile 1. On the bottom of the deck, we have spring, which is becoming something new, allowing yourself to open up and grow, and masquerade, which is pretending to be somebody else. Now, the people on earth that open themselves up and allow themselves to grow by pretending to be other people are actors. They're performers, they're entertainers. They're people who take on the personality or life of somebody else in order to live life, explore life, and be able to understand life and develop their empathy even further. So you could be destined for or interested in a life in the performing arts. Between worlds. That's really interesting. That's definitely an artist's position. I'll tell you that right now. Because artists are the link between the spiritual and the 3D. They kind of are the perpetual translators, if you will, of divine proverb and divine knowledge. And that's why the life of an entertainer, not necessarily just an entertainer, an artist, is difficult, because they're doing things that are very difficult. They bridge, think of it, if you are a bridge, you get a lot of pressure on you every single day. And that's because you are serving as a conduit between two very contradictory worlds, the spirit world, the ether, and the 3D, right? The matter, the tangible. So this is almost an alchemical position where you're finding these ineffable concepts and you're finding ways to basically translate those ineffable concepts into visual representations, audio representations. But this is definitely the life of an artist. We have discontent and boredom. This is probably, in many ways, what you felt most of your life. Especially in normal places or normal things, like corporate world, a desk job, anything that was highly structured or conventional. Wouldn't fit you. And I'll tell you, it has nothing to do with work ethic, because your work ethic would still be off the hook. But discontent and boredom is what you're going to feel a lot, because You are somebody who belongs on the outskirts. You're not somebody who belongs mainstream. Then we have children. Now, children is definitely a card that represents something that is creating, being creative. A creator, somebody who brings something to life. But the message on this card says, know that your children are protected. So in many ways, maybe you have experienced a setback because you have children, because you have responsibilities outside of turning what you love into what you can get paid doing. That's very difficult, right? Especially as somebody who is an artist or an actor or a performer. And perhaps children has been something that has either been holding you back, or you have found it to be something that is sort of, I wouldn't say torturing you, but tormenting you a little bit. The thought of having children, maybe what if I never have children? Do I really never want to have children? I don't think you don't. I think you do want to, or that a child is very important to you. It could also be a sign that you've wanted this since you were a child. Once again, we see the mask here in owl, which is follow your intuition. Therefore, and you see the very feminine energy of owl, of the moon earrings that she's wearing, of the water. You're working in the emotional realms, and you're working also, once again, with the mask, working with masks in order to demonstrate or share emotions with others. This is also the creative realm, the dream realm, a highly intuitive human being. That's what you are. And beyond that, you are somebody who uses their intuition for the work that they do. Unicorn, invite serendipity. Tell me this isn't dreams, right? Living in the world of fantasy, living in the world of dreams, and being unique. So standing out, you are the only you. So this is definitely not, you are not meant for a life of conformity. It's just that clear. It is your uniqueness that will, once you accept your uniqueness, right? It is once you accept your uniqueness that you will stand out and do the best in life. And really, I think you stand out already. I would be surprised if in some ways you didn't already know this about yourself, or other people didn't already know that about you. But this is definitely a lot of creativity and imagination running through you. And I will inspire. So, I mean, how many ways you will inspire people? You will inspire people with what you create and how you express your emotions. You will inspire people with being able to put yourself into other people's shoes and tell stories that they can follow along with and believe in and take faith in. You will participate in this entire process. I would be surprised if you didn't want this since you were a child. Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? This is really interesting energy. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I think you are being protected and watched over by a female ancestor. And she could have been somebody who was very much like you, or never got the chance, but always was interested in maybe being an actor or a performer. But this is definitely a supportive female energy that surrounds you. And she's reminding you to care for you. This is, in other words, a vocation that will require a lot of self-care, which of course as a performer you know, because your body, your voice, and your spirit and how you're feeling is essential every day, because it's basically what you've got. It's your tool. It's what you use. So you're definitely doing something where you should take self-care very seriously. But self-care is very different than self-centeredness. And it's very different than self-consumption. So it's a reminder to take care of yourself so that you don't become self-possessed kind of energy. And then we have these three cards to offer you some support and advice Rhodochrosite, be gentle with yourself. You've been through a lot and need time to heal and recover. If you've recently suffered major disappointments, especially major disappointments that were so major that it kind of made you feel like maybe this isn't for me, you're kind of questioning yourself and your soul purpose. This is taking special care, a reminder that this is your time to take special care. Unikite, answered prayers. All your great work has opened the door for divine solutions and support. So this is some good news here, guys, because what it means is that you will be experiencing a breakthrough because you didn't give up. And because, one day it just hits you, it just comes. The breakthrough comes because you just didn't give up. And that day is here. And then we have divine intervention. God sends miracles to answer sincere prayers. Sincere prayers, not desperate prayers, just prayers of, hey, God, I need help. So ultimately, you will be receiving some divine intervention and support, a breakthrough in terms of the attention you're going to get and the recognition that you've worked very, very hard for. All right, guys, thank you so much, Group 1. Let's go on to Group 2. If you selected Group 2, the crow is talking to you right now. So there's some sense of heavy spiritual intervention here or destiny that you have been called to, almost being pulled to this moment in time by something completely out of your control. We have gratitude. Be grateful for all you have. This is really interesting. So you are a divine spirit with a divine purpose, or Raven would not have showed up in your reading. Like that call just, that was no part of the shuffle. That was just what showed up for you. So the advice right now is to look at all that you have. Look at all that you are and look at all that you have become. In other words, recognize your power. Because you are a light worker, my friend. You are somebody who illuminates and brings the magical into the real. You are somebody who manifests out of thin air. So something that never existed is now existing because of you. You are a conduit of the divine power itself, and you are a voice for the divine. So you are some sort of psychic. You are some sort of channeler. You are some sort of light worker. You are some sort of, like I said, you could be working in tarot. You could be working in astrology. You could be working as a priest. You could be working as a leader, a youth leader. You could even be a spiritual person. But this is definitely somebody whose divine purpose it is to remind people of their connection to God and the light that is within them. Then we have choices. Make the best choices. You're somebody who helps people make the best choices that they can. You're somebody who helps people through the spirit world see their full potential and make choices that are going to make their life the best. You have probably been this way since you were very young. People came to you for advice, whether you wanted it or not. And somehow, even if you couldn't make sense out of your own problems, you could always make sense out of other people's problems because you could see the light inside of them and you could help them see the light inside of themselves. I will surrender. This is huge. You are somebody who has the courage to bow before the divine. You are somebody who has the courage to surrender to the will and the fates of God. You are somebody who is connected to it. So in other words, you surrender because you know when to trust. You surrender because you know when to go with the divine flow. And this could have been that you wanted so many other things out of your life, but you realized sometime recently, or you're realizing now, that you're just not meant for whatever it was you hoped to be meant for, that you were actually meant to serve and be divine and do this divine work. And it is the most esoteric work. It is the most kind of preposterous, if you will, at least seen preposterous by our society. So I understand that finances would be an issue, believe me. But this is in other words, this is an assignment. Like I said, you hear the cry of the raven still outside. I can still hear it. It was something you were chosen for. It's not something you get to select. And so fighting it or trying to resist it may have been something that you have done for your whole life, or you may not have even realized, that you were meant for this. You just thought, oh, I could give good advice. And for some reason, people, especially when they're sick or lost or confused, are drawn to me. This would also mean that Spirit would call you to start to learn how to set boundaries for yourself so that you are spiritually protected and that the light inside of you doesn't get dimmed because of how much others need from you. I feel alone. Tell me about it. Have you felt alone most of your life? Have you felt different most of your life? Yes, you have. It's not necessarily feel lonely because you feel always connected to Spirit, but you are singular. And it's unlike most people who are born in pieces, you were born a whole. You were born a complete thing. And that's why you shine so bright and why people are attracted to you for healing, because you are a complete. You are a shadow and a light. You are a negative and a positive. You are the yin and the yang, and you are complete, right? And because of that, it is very difficult to find other people like yourself. And then we have Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. Hello. The Akashic records. This is your link to the eternal, right? And you are working in the spirit realm, or you should be working in the spirit realm. Your guidance is divinely guided. So the guidance that you're providing is always divinely guided. It's like you're channeling. It's not coming directly from you or only from you, but it is coming through you because you're a voice for the divine. You are a voice for the divine in the human world. And then we have spiritual union, uniting with Spirit. But I also want to say this means you have a soulmate. This means you have a soulmate that is searching for you, and maybe why you feel so alone for so long, because you were never going to find anybody. You were always meant for this one person, because uniquely so, you are somebody who would not be understood by most people. You give hope to people, right? And as dark as your times have gotten, you have always found hope inside of yourself. You've always found a way back to hope. And it is because you are being called psychically. You can energetically feel that even when you're alone, you're not alone. So this hope is coming through your connection to the divine. But you and the light that you share is how you make others feel, because you give them hope. Your divine counterpart would be very much like this. This is not twin flame energy. This is divine counterpart. They would be a whole individual as well. Foundation and achievements. I think family is very important to you, and it always has been. And this is because of all that you feel all the time and all that you experience all the time. You need your family close, and you need a secure foundation. You probably did not come from a very secure foundation, but you crave it and you want it because you want to feel the safety and serenity of roots in this 3D world. It's actually what you need to get your job done the best. So securing a way for you to have a roof over your head, money that pays your bills, is extremely important to you. It's not something that you could bypass or, pretend away. This is something that you have to pay a lot of attention to in order to get your job done. But this is definitely that's definitely for you. Then we have, it's time to take action. It's time to take action. And it's time to release negativity, Scorpio. You have Aries and Scorpio energy. This is extreme sexuality. This is a sense of sensuality. You probably have always had very sexual tension, like energy running through you, but sexual energy is the energy of creation, and really what it wants to do is be filtered into these divine channels. Also, it's saying you have been afraid of your powers and your energy long enough. You cannot be afraid of them anymore. You must face your fear of them, and you must embrace them and take action towards saying, hey, you know what? This is me. Your advice card, interestingly enough, spiritual angelite, spiritual or religious community, join with like-minded people for friendship and increased spiritual growth. Now tell me that is not like, I just shuffle these cards, I don't pick them. That's crazy. You are a light worker. One of the first things that you should do is go start searching for other light workers. You may start on YouTube. You may start in your local community. And remember, if it doesn't feel right to you, walk the fuck out of there. Just because somebody's shuffling tarot or reading a star chart doesn't mean they're your vibe, and you're gonna know their vibe right away. But once you find that vibe, start to build a community, because that's your foundation, right? That's the people who will really get you, and you can nurture each other, and you can help each other grow and help keep each other safe. Okay. Whew. Number 3. If you chose number 3, whew, this is the message for you. And I hear silence outside my window. Meanwhile, for group 2, the raven crowed the entire time. That's crazy. Dragon, discover your courage. You are a warrior. You are somebody who defends and who protects. You are somebody who has a rage inside of you. Maybe it's always been anger. Maybe it's always been frustration. But you were meant to use this to battle and to fight. You could be a cop. You could be a soldier. You could be an MMA fighter. But you were meant to use your body and the fire inside your belly to protect, defend, and throttle when necessary. You are a dragon. You are the one that gets things done. You push through any boundaries. You push through any barriers. You are a fighter. Hold on. New beginnings. Begin your new life. You got the dragon and the phoenix. Holy crap. Oh my God. You come in to burn shit down to pave way for people to start new. You are somebody that walks in like a firefighter rushing into that 9/11 tower when everybody else is running in the opposite direction. You were meant to do the crazy high energy work. Have you been told you had ADHD all your life? Have you been told you have anger management issues? You don't. You just need to get yourself into an MMA class or a self-defense class. You need to find a way to be extremely physical with your body and to use your body to pump out your energy and to make yourself a weapon that will defend people who cannot defend themselves and who will rush in when everybody else is rushing out. This motherfucker is just how you are built. You can't run from this or take those pills and take those medications to force yourself to be something that you are not. You are born this way, baby, and you need to accept it. You are the fire. You are the phoenix. You rise up when other people crash down. You have a level of courage and energy in you that was not meant to be kept down. And the only way that kind of energy is usually accepted in our society is to be a fighter or to be using that in defense of others. I am light. So you bring the shine. You bring the energy. You bring hope. You also have your own spark, right? You have, like I said, the fire in your belly. You don't need somebody else to light your way. You're a fucking dragon. You're a phoenix. Flame is a part of everything that you are, right? So you are somebody who, as bad as shit gets, you will fight. You want to fight. You don't want to curl up. You don't want to cry. You want to fight. You want to get through things. You want to get them done. As bad as things are, even if you are crying, you'll be walking and crying at the same damn time. You, my friend, are an eternal light. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? This is the thing. You know how to set boundaries. You establish boundaries. You tell people what is what, and you can help others. You're also somebody who comes in and helps to form boundaries when other people are being taken advantage of. So you are the boundary. You are the protector. You are the safety. You know, but be sure that you know how to set boundaries with your own personal space, because that becomes tricky. You may be very good at defending others and setting boundaries so they stay safe, but what about you? Are you defending yourself? Are you defending boundaries so that you stay safe? But ultimately, yeah, you are the boundary maker. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So maybe you've had a difficult time coming to this conclusion or accepting these things about yourself. Probably because in society, your energy is the least trusted because it's considered dangerous. It's considered volatile. It's considered violent. But that's choices, right? That's how you use your energy toward others, right? So trusting yourself may have been very difficult, especially if you were raised with messages like, well, you're violent, you're not to be trusted, you're not safe, people aren't safe around you. That really isn't true. Fire does burn people, yes. And so if you are a flame or have a fire in your belly, you need to train it like a dragon. You need to learn how to call upon it and extinguish it based on where you are. Right? But that is definitely something you can learn with training. And then we have memories of love. You see the little light? See the little light? The light, I think, fuels you. I think that's your fuel, those little lights. Also, you have probably had very, very few relationships in your life. People who really understood you and brought you peace. And it's those memories of love that you hold on to. And they will continue to fuel your fire. Truth. What is your truth? People who really accept you love you for exactly who you are. And once again, you have what seems to be, oh no, this is like a sage's clothing. So discovering your truth in the memories of when you are happiest. And don't be scared. If when you are happiest is when you're fighting, then go take boxing classes. You know what I'm saying? If when you are happiest is when everybody else is scared, then you know what you got to do. You know who you got to become. We have spiritual strength. You need this. You need to rely on spiritual strength. You can't just be physically strong. So Spirit is asking you to work on your spirituality. It will help control you. It will help you, it will help you control yourself. It will help you love yourself. It will help you understand yourself. It will help you strengthen yourself because you are more in control. Yes, spiritual strength is important for your victory and your success. Patience and planning. This is also very difficult energy for you, right? You just want to rush in and do. But this is the time when you're supposed to almost like write blueprints for yourself and for how you're going to build that mechanism inside of you that controls your own fire. I think that maybe you have been waiting for something for a while, that you have been looking for an opportunity for a while, that you have been working on something for a while. You know what? It's about to come true. Deception and envy. There has been a lot of people who have been against you. There have been a lot of doors smashed in your face. Why? Because underneath it all, people they envy your energy, and they're afraid of it because they don't have it. Right? So I would not be surprised if through your life, a lot of people tried to put you down a lot, because once you walked into the room, everything heated up, right? But ultimately, you have worked very hard against this energy, and you're about to get a breakthrough. Prosperity lies ahead. So all those concepts are becoming reality. All those things that work that you've done on yourself, it's now growing out into the 3D world. It's starting to sprout. So you are about to get a breakthrough, group 3. A win-win outcome is forecast. This is Libra energy. This is balance. You're finding balance. You're finding external balance. You're finding practical use for who you are. You're finding success. You're also finding justice. This is all really good signs for you, group 3. Let's get into some of your advice card. Diamond, value your self-worth. You are God's precious gem. Life-changing epiphany or experience. It's a time of big and blessed change for you, and God is supporting you each step of the way. I'm telling you, these are breakthroughs, group 3. Healthy communication in relationships. Heart-to-heart discussions and clear, assertive communication help you understand and be understood. So you've really learned. You've come a long way to being understood and to being on your own side. And now you're starting to see the change of tide. On the outside world too, Jade, wellness. The recovery of health and wellness is here. And I think this has to do with you in society, but it could also have to do with your personal and your physical health, because now there's peace inside of you where there wasn't before. Peace, there's still fire. There's still fire, but now you're at peace with it because you don't hate it. You don't see it as something that's bad, listening to what other people told you your whole life. Now you know that fire in your belly is your power, and you're learning to wield it. And I'm telling you, people are watching and they're respecting you for it. You will experience major breakthroughs, and your life is coming back into balance. Health and balance are the same thing. There you go. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with me for this half hour. I hope you have a beautiful new moon this coming Monday. It's going to be wonderful. And since it's a new moon in Virgo, it is a time to plant long-term investments. It's a time to plant seeds for what you will be cultivating over the long term. Things that you are dedicated to growing. It's a great time for growth. It's a great time for expansion and welcoming in something new that is going to come into your life, and you're going to be cultivating it for the long term. Long-term relationships, long-term career, long-term everything. That's what this energy for the new moon in Virgo is about. So happy Labor Day. Have a happy, healthy weekend, and please do celebrate and enjoy this beautiful new moon. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you soon.